Chapter 14. Houses of Parliament, Monday the 28th of May, 2463. Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. Cato, 234 BC to 149 BC. Taking a smoke break, James glanced at the snares. A small light was flashing green. Good, he thought. It had been fully recharged. He pinched the end of his cigarette and picked it up. During the past 4 years, he had decrypted dozens of similar devices, but never one of these. Most use iris or fingerprint identification, but with the software he had, James guessed that it would take no more than 2 or 3 hours to crack this one. He always enjoyed the initial challenge of trying to outguess the one-time user. Opening the case, he took out the ID card from the wallet. Who was this guy, he asked himself. Lawrence Brubaker, date of birth, 26th of October, 1987. Most passwords had to be easy and memorable. He always started with the date of birth. Somewhere he had read that 12% of 21st century passwords used birthdays. He entered 261087. Incorrect password flashed on the display. He tried 26101987. Wrong again. He tried 102687. It played a small tune, and the hologram of a young Oriental woman appeared on the screen. "Hi, Larry. How are you?" she said. "Bloody hell!" cried James aloud. It had bypassed the standard iris identification. "Sorry, Larry. Didn't catch you. Hey, long time no talk. You must have a lot of news." News, thought James. "Oh, yeah, plenty, darling. Your owner's been basically dead for close on 400 years. But he replied, "Just fine, thanks." He loved the interaction of these devices with their personalities and jokes. So 21st century. People talking to machines and not to each other. He now anticipated it to say, "Sorry, Larry, but I don't recognize your voice. Please repeat." But instead it answered, "Good. So how can I help you?" James was surprised, very surprised. It had been too easy. It caught him off guard. He had to take some moments to think. Okay, he said. "List me all recent calls." "Recent calls, made and received. Displayed?" "Yes." "Of course." A list of calls swept over the screen. James blinked twice. Sanjay Dutt, the founder of Vivimus. Boy, the doctor was going to be ecstatic about this. "Okay, play me calls from Sanjay Dutt onwards." "Calls from Sanjay Dutt onwards, of course." The black screen opened. Immediately James recognized the agitated face of the man in the frame. It was the great Sanjay Dutt. "Larry," rasped Sanjay, "you must call me back. I've just been told you have, out of the blue, got on a flight to London. Security tells me you've taken 8 fears without permission. Is this true? Have you gone completely out of your mind?" His sentences were staccato, his voice rising to a pitch. "What the hell are you trying to do? Ruin us all?" Then his tone became more conciliatory. "Larry," he purred. "Larry, we go back a long way. Why don't you call me and let's talk this over? I don't want to get our security or the police involved in this. We can sort it out, you and me together. Call me back." "Sweet Jesus," hissed James through his teeth. He was fair pissed off, all right. Without taking his eyes off the screen, he picked up a plum from his plate and took a bite from it. "Next, please," he garbled. "I'm sorry, Larry," said the mellifluous tones of the woman. "Please repeat." James swallowed hard, his Adam's apple dancing. "Sorry. Next, please." "Of course." It was Sanjay Dutt again. The placatory voice had gone. "Larry, are you deliberately trying to ruin me? Ruin all we've tried to achieve from the beginning? This is about Lee, isn't it? I couldn't tell you everything. I had to keep my word. You understand that, don't you? You mustn't jump to conclusions. You don't have the full facts. All I ask is that we speak. Look, I've diverted my plane to land at Farnborough. I'm taking the chopper to the Parapluie Centre. Let's meet up there. Call me immediately you get this." James stared transfixed at the screen. Although the English and the accents were dated, he more or less understood what had been said. For a second he wondered if he should stop now and wait to show the doctor. Curiosity had the better of him. "Play next call," he said. "Of course." Senge, Larry here. A face of a man appeared on the screen. He had a shaven head, high cheekbones, and Chinese features.
Hi, Larry. Good you called. You can't come here. I think the place is being watched.
Watched? Who by? Larry's voice betrayed alarm.
I don't know, but looking through the window, there are 2 men sitting in a car outside the house.
How long have they been there?
I don't know, 20, maybe 30 minutes. Can you see them?
The screen wobbled and focused in on a car on the street below. Better if you stopped your hand shaking. There was a pause. I can make out 2 of them.
3.
Do they know you're at home?
I don't know.
Senge, you must not open your door to anyone, said Larry, with an edge of urgency. And don't speak too loudly. They've probably got sound detectors trained on your windows. Do you have another way out?
There is a back door to the building.
Senge was whispering now. Is it being watched? Could you get out that way? Images on the screen tumbled and turned as the man moved to another part of the building.
I can't see anyone.
If you can't see anyone, why don't you try and make your way to me?
Have you got those fears?
Yes.
Where are you right now?
James detected a hesitation in Larry. Central London, Leicester Square.
Leicester Square? Yeah. Like where? Where do you want to meet up? Make the switch over. In a shop, cafe?
He sounded frustrated.
Shh, no. Too open. Let me think, said Larry.
Senge continued frowning intently out of the screen. I'll leave them in a locker at the National Gallery. I know the place well. We'll meet there. I'll find you and just walk past and slip you the key.
National Gallery in Mandela Square?
That's the one.
Larry, this is the first time this place has been staked out, and just when you fly into town. Why?
Because what I'm carrying is important. That important, and they know it. This is going to blow the lid off a lot of things, but I never expected them to move so quickly. I figured I had at least a couple of days before they realized that some of their fears were missing. Now they know I'm here, they're probably staking out every known opponent as well as looking for me.
How long before you can get there? Give me 45 minutes.
Okay, around 4 o'clock. Delete this call now and don't get seen. James sat frozen, still holding the plum with one bite taken from it. Next call.
Larry?
Yes, Sanjay.
What the hell are you trying to do? Spoil everything?
No, just spoil your murderous plans. Larry's voice was flat and tired.
You'll ruin us all in the process. I'm trying to stop you getting yourself killed. The Marshal will kill you. I've just spoken to him. You're targeted. Stop what you're doing now and give me back my...
Sanjay, you made a pact with Lee. If you sup with the devil, you better learn to use a long spoon.
What's this bullshit?
Sanjay, you cut the bullshit. You know, I know. He's already killed hundreds of thousands of his own people, perhaps millions. You helped him do it, and you've got me to collaborate. Larry, I want to explain to you how it happened, why I had to do it, and why it's not quite how you think it is. Oh, no, don't try to lie. He's been secretly killing anyone and everyone who opposes him. Larry, let's meet up and talk this over like old friends. Sanjay, snapped Larry. Are you trying to tell me you didn't know we planted a lousy nanobot into the skull of every Chinese man and woman when we did their national program? That this nanobot? Larry was furious and stumbling over his words. Or should I call it a nanobomb? Could read their brains and tell their goddamn dictator those who were against him, so he could then kill them with heart attacks or strokes? You telling me you didn't know that? You fixed it in Como, didn't you? Larry, please listen, pleaded Sanjay. There followed a pause for some moments. Yes, I knew Lee wanted to have some sort of control over his population, but I never guessed he'd ever go to this extreme. Sanjay's voice cracked, his mouth trembled, and James almost expected him to start crying. Yes, he's half mad, I agree, but believe me, I'm getting leverage over him. I've given him a final warning. You've got to see it from his angle, China's angle. He's just managing to hold the place together. The people against him are rebels and terrorists. They're the ones letting off bombs and killing thousands. He's not a bad man. He's a patriot and wants stability. Our therapies were part of the trade-off. Peace in the streets for years of healthy life in return. A fair deal, you'd agree.
The people love him. Of course they love him. That's because any who opposed him are now dead. Sanjay, remember, I've got the fears. I've got every one of your memories. I've got every one of Lee's memories. In fact, I've copied the memories of every major world leader. I've seen your memories of your conversations with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? There was no reaction or response from Sanjay at Larry's outburst. He stared slack-faced out of the screen. So Larry repeated, "Did you hear what I just fucking said? I said I've got every one of your memories right back at SCR and beyond. Do you damn well understand? Do you damn well read me?" "I should have put two and two together a long time ago," said Sanjay, shaking his head sadly. "Should have seen the warning signs. All your visits to Dharamshala. I spoke to Lee not more than 30 minutes ago. He made it as clear can be that he would use any means to stop you getting this information out. Any means." "Ha! You tell him it's too late. You tell him he's finished. You tell him this'll be global tomorrow." Larry was falling over his own words with a mixture of triumph and rage. "They don't control all the channels of communication. You tell him that." Sanjay deliberated, not wanting to be drawn into Larry's ranting. "What you've stolen isn't that much in the big scheme of things. You could certainly cause me some embarrassment, and no doubt the Chinese government would have some explaining to do, but Lee said the people are with him. I doubt that. He always said we have the modern opium. Everyone wants to live longer. This'll all blow over. You know it, I know it. So why don't we meet up before anything we all regret happens? Come over to my office at the Parapluie now." Larry gave a bitter laugh. "I might be an American, but that doesn't make me a total fool. No way, Sanjay. Just before I sign off, I want to tell you one more thing. I'm repaying you for what you did to me at SCR, remember? You stole my work, didn't you? Don't shake your head, I know you did. So now to repay you, I've taken all the software, all the IP, including the 3G stuff, and left you with scrambled vaporware. I've set you back years. What are you going to promise them? Where's your modern opium now?" James saw Sanjay's chin fall in disbelief, his face disappear, and the screen go blank. Despite working for the doctor, he couldn't really give a toss about the past. Yet he was smart enough to know that he was holding history in his hands. Nothing, he reflected, found in all his time in London came near to the drama he had just viewed on this snaz. "Next call, please." "Hi, Chuck. Larry here. Guess you're still asleep. I just got into London. Look, Chuck, I wanted to say something to you, so I'll leave it in this message. No, we haven't been sort of really close as brothers with Mum and Bud and all that stuff, and now I wish I could put things right. Maybe I won't now be able to. Something's come up. Something important. I'm making a stand at last. I should have had the guts to do this years ago, and I'm real worried for myself right now, real worried. I don't have time to explain it to you in this message, but if I disappear off the radar or anything happens to me, just wanted to say, I love you, baby bro. So long." "Next call." "Larry, Sanjay here." James could briefly make out the alarm in the man's face before the image broke up. "Larry, I'm in the gallery. I'm being followed. Get out now, get out." The voice was panting. James assumed he had broken into a run. "Next call, please." It was from Sanjay. James replayed it 3 times. It was broken bits of sentences with shouting in the background. "Larry, we can see you. You can't get away. Just stop so we can... Go there. There's a gap. Come on, move it. Larry, pick this up now." "That was your last call, Larry." James heaved a sigh and muttered, "Yes, Larry, that certainly was your last call." He rolled himself a smoke. He needed one. The doctor would want to know about this as quickly as possible.
When he had finished, he went to the Moses room. He could hear the doctor's voice booming from behind the door. He knocked on it.